Imagine a day when gas stations ran dry, when thermostats in your home were legally capped, when the speed limit was federally reduced nationwide. This wasn't a wartime measure or a natural disaster. It was October 17th, 1973, and in a single afternoon, the most powerful economy on Earth, America, realized it was completely helpless. This isn't just a story about oil prices. It's a terrifying tale about what happens when a superpower realizes its enemies hold the keys to its entire economic future. It's a lesson America never forgot, but may be about to tragically relearn. To understand the crisis, we have to look to the Middle East. On October 6, 1973, on the Jewish holy day of Yom Kippur, Egypt and Syria launched a surprise attack on Israel. It was a bold, coordinated assault aimed at reclaiming lost territories. America, staunchly allied with Israel, immediately responded. President Nixon ordered a massive airlift of military supplies, pouring $2.2 billion worth of aid into Israel to help them defend themselves. This aid was crucial to Israel's defense, but it came with an immediate and devastating cost. The Arab members of OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, met and, in direct retaliation for America's support of Israel, voted to impose an immediate oil embargo on the United States. The vote happened on a Tuesday. By Thursday, the world had fundamentally changed. The embargo was swift and brutal. Oil prices, which had been around $3 a barrel, skyrocketed to $12 a barrel in just 3 months. That's a 300% increase. For average Americans, the impact was immediate and shocking. Gas stations across the country ran out of fuel. Mile-long lines formed at the few stations that still had gas, often requiring drivers to wait for hours, sometimes overnight, just to fill their tanks. Gas rationing was introduced, with bizarre rules like odd-numbered license plates could only buy gas on odd days of the month. To conserve energy, President Nixon signed a federal law reducing the national speed limit to 55 miles per hour. Thermostats in federal buildings were legally capped at a chilly 68 degrees Fahrenheit in winter. Even Christmas lights were banned nationwide in an effort to save energy. America, a country built on cars and consumption, suddenly ground to a halt. The economic consequences were profound. Economists were baffled by a new, terrifying phenomenon: stagflation. This was a combination of high inflation, rising prices, and economic stagnation, slow growth and high unemployment, something traditional economic theory said was impossible. The stock market lost a staggering 45% of its value in just 18 months. Airlines grounded flights due to fuel shortages. Schools across the country went to 4-day weeks to save on heating costs. Businesses struggled, layoffs mounted, and a deep sense of vulnerability settled over the nation. The term energy security entered the American political vocabulary for the first time, a stark reminder that even a superpower could be held hostage by its dependence on foreign resources. The 1973 oil crisis wasn't just a temporary blip, it fundamentally reshaped the world. The United States, determined never to be held hostage again, created the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, stockpiling massive amounts of oil for emergencies. More importantly, the crisis led directly to the birth of the petrodollar system, a crucial agreement between the US and Saudi Arabia where, in exchange for military protection, Saudi Arabia would price all its oil sales in US dollars, ensuring global demand for the dollar. This system cemented the dollar's role as the world's reserve currency and fundamentally altered global finance. Every aspect of modern Middle East policy, every geopolitical tension you read about today, can trace its roots back to this one pivotal event. America thought it had learned its lesson, but is it about to relearn it? Now let's look at today. The Strait of Hormuz, a narrow passage connecting the Persian Gulf to the open ocean, is once again in the headlines. It's where 40% of the world's oil supply and a massive amount of natural gas passes through every single day. And Iran, whose coastlines dominate the strait, is openly threatening to close it. Unlike 1973, where the threat was a political vote to embargo oil, this is a physical choke point, a potential military blockade. The U.S. has fewer diplomatic levers today than it did in 1973. The stakes are just as high, if not higher. 1973 was a wake-up call for America. It changed how the nation saw its place in the world and its vulnerability. What comes next, with renewed tensions around crucial energy choke points, might change it again permanently. The echoes of that crisis are growing louder. Are we listening this time? If you found this deep dive into the 1973 oil crisis and its haunting parallels to today eye-opening, then you need to subscribe to Histovra. Because next, we're going back even further to the ancient empires that controlled this same oil route 2,500 years ago. You won't believe the ancient secrets of power hidden in that waterway. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell.